What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Primetime Sports Podcast, hosted by Joey Malari. So yesterday was the start of the second round of the NBA playoffs, the conference semifinals. So yesterday was the start of the Western Conference semifinals. It is between the Phoenix Suns and the Denver Nuggets, the 1 seed versus the 4 seed in the West going at it. Denver won that game pretty handedly, 125-107. I think Denver's going to give Phoenix a handful in that series. I like Denver to win that series in 6 games. I think look at Denver's depth. They have 2 great players, a superstar in Nikola Jokic, a really good star in Jamal Murray, Michael Porter Jr., one of the better younger players in the NBA. Then they have good role players as well, including Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. I really like Reggie Jackson. The Clippers traded him to Charlotte to get Mason Plumlee. Then Reggie Jackson gets cut by the Hornets, and he gets picked up by the Nuggets. I like him coming off the bench. Came up big for the Clippers in their 2021 Western Conference Finals run. Then they also have Aaron Gordon, a player they got a couple years ago in a trade. Really good forwards, had a good year for them, averaging 16 points and 6 rebounds. He had a really good game 23 points and 6 rebounds last night. Michael Porter Jr., 11 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists. Nikola Jokic, 24 points, 19 rebounds. He had a night. Jamal Murray was a story of the night, though. 34 points, 9 assists, 5 rebounds. Unreal performance for him. Off the bench, Jeff Green had 5 points. Bruce Brown added in 14 points, 3 assists, and 2 rebounds. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope had 10 points. As for the Suns, Durant had 29 points and 14 rebounds. Also had a great game defensively, adding in 3 blocks and a steal. He was 12 of 19 from the floor and 1 of 3 from 3. Devin Booker, 27 points, 8 assists, 4 rebounds, 2 blocks, a steal. Was 10 of 19 from the floor. Those are the only 2 players that really had a good offensive game for the Suns. Chris Paul struggled, just 11 points on 1 of 5 shooting from 3 and 5 of 11 shooting from the floor. DeAndre Ayton, 14 points, 7 rebounds, 7 of 11 shooting from the floor. He had a good night. Definitely could do more than he does, though. I think he likes doing more mid-range shooting rather than trying to work closer to the rim. I think he'd be even better if he wanted to be closer to the rim, but he likes taking more mid-range jump shots. Torrey Craig and Josh Okogie, who were killers for the Clippers in the series in the first round, both of them had poor nights. Torrey Craig just 3 points and 4 rebounds. Josh Okogie, 2 points and 2 rebounds. Each of them were 1 of 3 from the floor. They were 2 big pieces for role players for the Suns in that series against the Clippers, and they were cold. That's the thing. Before I even recorded this, which I know I'm recording it after the game happened, if I recorded before the game, I would have said I don't think Okogie does what he did last series against the Clippers again. And even if the Suns were to win this series, I don't think Okogie's going to be a big reason for why they win that series. It's going to be obviously Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, Chris Paul. I think Okogie and Torrey Craig came up big in big situations. Not sure if I would rely on them again, though, if I were the Phoenix Suns. But that's all they really have for role plays they can rely on. Since they're big 4, Durant, Ayton, Booker, Paul are going to be most of their offensive production. And that's the reality of the situation. As for the Nuggets, they can beat you on offense with Michael Porter Jr., Aaron Gordon, Jamal Murray, Nikola Jokic, and then also have good role plays in KCP, Bruce Brown. I like the Nuggets to win this series in 6 games. I would say 5, but I'm going to go 6 since the NBA wants to prolong every series they can. So I'm going to go Nuggets in 6. As for the Celtics and Sixers series, which will begin, I believe it is tomorrow, I'm going to go with the Celtics winning this series in 6 or 7 games. The Celtics had to beat the Hawks in 6 games. It took 6 games to beat the Hawks, so I'd imagine it takes at least 6 games to beat the MVP of the NBA this year, or will be the MVP of the NBA this year, Joel Embiid and James Harden, along with Tyrese Maxey. I'll go with the Celtics winning this series in 7 games. I think Philadelphia gives the Celtics a handful, though. It definitely gives them a run for their money. Definitely won't be an easy series for the Celtics. As for the Miami Heat New York Knicks series, which the Heat surprisingly beat the Bucks 4-1. Obviously a big deal that had to do with the Heat beating the Bucks was Giannis Antetokounmpo's injury. With Giannis out, the Heat took advantage of it, beating the Milwaukee Bucks 4-1 in the series. You see Milwaukee, how good they were in the regular season with Chris Middleton, Giannis, Andrew Holiday healthy. And then you see a different team with Giannis out. It's just a big difference maker. Even though Chris Middleton could hold his own for a while, he wasn't going to beat the Miami Heat on his own, especially with how well Jimmy Butler is playing. Jimmy Butler is just a force in the NBA playoffs. Everybody knows that. I mentioned on my radio show a week or 2 ago now. I said if there's one player I can draft in the NBA to build around in the NBA playoffs every year, it's Jimmy Butler. He might not be the best player in the NBA every year, might not be the MVP, but when the playoffs roll around, he is the MVP of the league. He gives you everything he's got. We'll play 48 minutes if that's what you need. He'll give you 40 points if that's what you need. He'll give you 10 rebounds, 10 assists. Whatever you need, Jimmy Butler will give you 2 blocks, 2 steals, in 48 minutes of action. He'll give you whatever you need in the playoffs. That's why Jimmy Butler is a very valuable piece. Nobody's like him in the NBA playoffs, and that's why I think the Heat could beat the Knicks in 6 games. I think if you look at the Heat team, without Tyler Hero, it's obviously a little bit different. They have Duncan Robinson playing more minutes. They get more minutes out of Gabe Vincent, more shots out of Gabe Vincent, more shots out of Jimmy Butler from the three-point line. Jimmy's not really that great of a three-point shooter, but somebody has to space the floor with Tyler Hero not being there to shoot the three. But with Julius Randle being hurt, I know he's been struggling in the playoffs. I think it's going to be a difference maker for the Knicks defensively. The Knicks played very well against the Cleveland Cavaliers. I'm shocked they beat the Cavs in 5 games. The Cavs, I don't know what happened to their offense. They completely folded. I think obviously it has to do with the Knicks defensively. The Knicks are a great defensive team. I'm sure that played a role in shutting down Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell doesn't just shut down and not give you any production offensively. Obviously, it had to do with how good the defense was that the Knicks had. So credit to the Knicks and what they were doing on defense. Clearly, it worked. Beating the Cleveland Cavaliers in 5 games is very impressive. I thought the Cavs would win this series in 6 games. So beating the Cavs in 5 games is just very impressive. But I think Miami matches up well against the Knicks. I think they're going to give the Knicks a handful. I'm going to take the Heat winning this series in 6 games over the Knicks. I'm rooting for the Knicks. I like a lot of the players. I love Emmanuel Quickley, who's a big fan of him at Kentucky. I like Quentin Grimes, good three-point shooter. Jalen Brunson's had a really good year as an offensive threat for them. They picked him up in free agency from the Dallas Mavericks, and he's been great for them offensively. But I just can't pick it against my boy Jimmy Butler. I'm always going to side with Jimmy Butler if he's in the playoffs. So I'm going to have Miami winning this series in 6 games. So I have the Celtics in 7, Miami in 6, Denver in 6, and then the Lakers will be playing the winner of the Sacramento Kings and Golden State Warriors. That Game 7 will be taking place today at 3:30. Definitely will be a dogfight. I'm rooting for the Sacramento Kings, but obviously Golden State has all the experience and have the best shooter in NBA history on their team in Steph Curry. So it's definitely a tough toss-up there, picking between the Kings and the Warriors. So I won't give any predictions for the Lakers series until that series is over. So Game 7 today, whoever wins, I'm probably going to side with the Lakers winning that series, whether it's the Kings or the Warriors. But we'll see who wins that Game 7. I will be rooting for De'Aaron Fox, and I'm the biggest fan of him. Love Malik Monk, but it's tough to bet against Steph Curry, and they're starting to win games on the road. They did steal 1 in Sacramento already. So we'll see what happens in that Game 7. So I won't give any predictions for that. I will save that for Tuesday night on my radio show. But that will conclude this episode. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to listen to this. As always, I appreciate it and hope you guys have a good one. Thank you.